The 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by SunBet, Red Square, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, and Kawasaki, South Africa. Welcome to Kyalami for the doubleheader round 7 and 8 of the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup, which forms part of the Festival of Motoring. The atmosphere for this doubleheader was absolutely electrifying, with the riders getting themselves ready for race 1 of round 8 of the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. Let's catch up with the injured, battered and bruised Johan Leroux. Johan Leroux, great to see you at the track after yesterday's nasty crash here a bit. Sort of banged up, but glad to see you here. Did you come back here just to have a snooze in the pits?
Yeah, Sean, I just can't stay away, to say the least. Yeah, unfortunately, yesterday's mishap, all my own fault. I can't blame anything else or anything else. It happened. It is what it is. But here I am again, hopefully now just recovering, get back on the bike as ASAP.
Awesome. Well, look, glad you're okay. That was a nasty one. You had us all worried, but you're tough as nails. They don't make them like you anymore, that's for sure.
I think it's not the tough as nails. I think it's a lack of brains.
Well, there we go.
That keeps me going.
Could be that as well. Either way, glad to see you up and about, and yeah, enjoy watching the racing now.
Absolutely. Cheers. Thanks, Sean.
Time for that final preparation in pit lane. Time to put in that fuel. Time for the last words of advice. Time to put on those helmets and those gloves and get ready for race 1 of round 8. The riders made their way out of pit lane in what promised to be an exciting and ever close race here at Kyalami. If the previous races were anything to go by from round 7, we were definitely in for a treat. The question on everyone's mind was who could stop Clinton Sella, who could prevent him from taking a second win of this doubleheader weekend. Could it perhaps be Trevor Westman, Graham from Idar, Han McMahon, Damien Perficati, who would throw their name into the hat? Sifiso Temba looking to build on a great race, a great performance yesterday, and so was Christian Carvello on the number 88. The number 48 of RB Marais looking for a lot more here in race 1 of round 8. As the riders took to their grids for race 1 of round 8, it was a great launch from most of the field, except for Tyrant Piper going absolutely backwards. But another great start from the number 11 of Clinton Sella as he looked to dominate and pick up where he left off in yesterday's race 2. As the riders headed into turn 2, Crowthorne, it was Clinton Sella ahead of Damien Perficati, and that was Graham from Idar in 3rd, Trevor Westman in 4th, and that looked like a lunge on the inside there. David Faringa trying to get involved in those podium positions. Han McMahon followed by Mark Newland in 6th, Eddie van Dalen, David Enticott, Peter de Vos, James Parson, as the rest of the field made their way through. A great start initially from Lubas as well on that spare motorcycle. Ian Harwood followed by Martin Perry and the number 65 of Stewie Christie. The riders made their way out of barbecue towards sunset for the first time of asking. As you can see, the field still tightly grouped together, but that was bound to change. As we take a ride on board with Tyrant Piper, the Masters rider, a terrible start. As you can see, absolutely not getting away, whether he was fast asleep or whether he missed the lights altogether, or whether he just had 1 or 2 little issues setting off, making up lost ground now, heading into Crowthorne around the outside. Tough place to be. Easy to get your front wheel wiped out, heading around the outside of riders as they tussle and jostle for positions. But a terrible start from the number 45 man. He would definitely have his work cut out for him for the rest of the race, trying to make up positions. Graham from Idar with a fantastic start. the number 1 man, as the riders make their way through Sunset for the first time of asking. You can see Clinton Silla had already pulled quite a sizable gap, so he'll be looking at picking up where he left off in race 2 of round 7 here at Kyalami. Trevor Westman heading up Leeuwkop for the first time of asking, while at the tail end of the field, the number 64 veteran rider of Martin Barry looking at setting those personal best lap times, which he managed to do at round 7. A great ride so far from Martin Barry as the riders made their way through the crocodiles for the first time of asking. It was still Clinton Silla out front, followed by Damien Purificati in second, Trevor Westman in third, fourth place Graham from Midar, and they were getting pursued by Han McMahon in fifth place and the juggernaut David Feringa in sixth place. Out of Ingwe for the first time of asking, and Clinton Silla had managed to already pull out a couple second lead ahead of Damien Purificati, who was having a great tussle once again with Trevor Westman, and Graham from Midar in fourth place, looking to pick up any pieces that might fall his way to grab that overall podium come the end of the race. The battle for fifth was heating up nicely, and David Feringa had now managed to find his way through on the number 4 of Han McMahon. Lubas had made up places, was ahead of Van Kak, Pereseman, Golgotsi, Papa making up ground ahead of Marais and Sifiso Temba as well, with Ian Harwood just behind them. And in the battle at the tail end of the field, it was now Stewie Christie on the number 65 who had made his way past Martin Barry. So Clinton Silla out front with that leg dangle ahead of Damien Purificati. Trevor Westman had now fallen into the clutches of Graham from Midar. So that battle for third was heating up nicely between the number 60 and number 1 of Graham from Midar. As the leader, Clinton Silla, made his way through turn 3 ahead of Damien Purificati. And that battle for third between Trevor Westman and Graham from Midar, David Feringa was now through on Han McMahon, and he was looking at closing that gap to the fourth place battle up ahead of him. Behind Han McMahon in sixth place, it was the number 2, Mark Newland, followed by David Enticott on the 78, Adi van Dalen on the 469, James Barson on the number 15, and first of your C-class riders, your veteran riders, that is Peter de Vos ahead of the number 88 of Christian Carvello. Further back, Byron Rothwell was in a three-way battle of his own, and just behind them, Tyron Piper had made his way through on Stephen Golgotsi as he looked to make up for lost ground after that poor start. As the riders made their way through Yuxkay Sweep into turn 5, which is barbecue, it was still Trevor Westman ahead of Graham from Midar in that podium battle. But behind them, there was a battle raging on, a four-way battle. That was David Enticott, Adi van Dalen, with Peter de Vos just on the back of that battle. As the rest of the riders made their way through, Tyron Piper now had his sights set on Peron Pereseman just ahead of him. And you can see Ian Harwood as well making his way through as we hop on board with Peter de Vos heading through Sunset, which is a third, fourth gear corner. Absolutely mind-boggling and scary heading into Clubhouse. Very important to get the drive here. Clip at Apex. A bit of debris there on the track. So a little bit of debris. Let's see if we can see why. And that is a nasty crash from veteran rider Jaya Cruz on the number 76. A nasty crash. He was lucky not to get collected by another rider, and lucky not to carry an injury there. You can see her standing on the side of the track. The bike's still lying on the ground, and luckily that never brought out a red flag. So the marshals doing an absolutely superb job in clearing that debris, getting Jaya Cruz out of harm's way and into safety, and recovering that motorcycle, while Clinton Silla had no such drama out front. He made his way through Leeuwkop, the Mineshaft and Crocodiles to lead yet another lap across the line, while behind him a great ride from Sifiso Temba so far. So Sifiso looking good on board his brand new ZX10. So getting to grips with that bike slowly but surely is Sifiso. A lot of setup to do, a lot of work behind the scenes by Sifiso and team to get that bike ready for Kyalami. Positions at the front were as they were. Clinton Silla still out front with now a commandable lead ahead of Damien Purificati on the number 821. But the third place battle was heating up nicely. That was between Trevor Westman on the number 60 and Graham from Midar looking at closing down the man ahead of him. At this stage of the race, Christian Carvalho also had his work cut out for him, keeping Keith Agliotti on the number 31 bike at bay. So that was an interesting battle as well that was raging on between the two experienced riders. Jostling for position throughout the whole field in the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup, except at the moment out front, Clinton Sella still having things all his own way. He had now pulled over about 3-4 seconds ahead of Damien Perivocati, Trevor Westman in third, Graham Fromidor in fourth. He was still keeping tabs, only just with the man ahead of him, as this battle, that's Eddie van Dalen on the inside of Peter de Vos, and there's James Barson just behind them. So a great ride by these three men. Stephen Golgotti was also making his intentions felt as he made his way through on Aubrey Marais. So that's a great move from the number 91 on the number 48. Well, Stewie Christie was making great progress. He had now pulled quite a gap ahead of Martin Perry, who was also having a great outing here in race 1 of round 8 of the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. The juggernaut David Feringa was now under immense pressure from the number 4 of Han McMahon on that special once-off livery for this double-header weekend. That beautiful livery where he's got kids to spray paint and sign and draw, all sorts of things on the side of that bike. As we take a ride on board with Byron Rothwell on the number 37 through Sunset into Clubhouse. This is a second gear corner, hard on the gas, and now you're making your way through to the S's, one of the scariest corners on the track. The change of direction here, and it's a little bit sort of like a downhill, almost off-camber corner, so very tricky, especially on the exit, very easy to high side. We have seen numerous accidents over the years coming out of the S's. So far, though, all the riders doing a great job keeping their composure. Speaking about composure, at the top of Leeuwkop, the number 78 of David Enticott having a great ride, while further behind him, the number 48 of Aubrey Marais. He would be wanting to be a little bit further up, but he is carrying an injury, remember, is the number 48 man, as he makes his way out of Leeuwkop down towards the mine shaft, while up front, Clinton Sella was still ahead of Damien Perivocati. This battle was raging on here. Peter de Vos once again on the inside of the number 469, and that's also a move Perron running a little bit wide, which allowed Renatus van der Kek to take that position from him. So we're here in Park Ferme, no one else around, as you can see, no other bikes, but there is a man here, number 63, Sifiso Temba. Sifiso, petrol is quite important when it comes to motorcycles. You do know that, huh? No comments. No comments at all. Hey, so make sure you put some fuel in for the next round, and then maybe you'll be able to finish the race. Lionel Black was having a great outing, currently in 20th position. And he was just ahead of the number 91 of Stephen Golgotti as the riders made their way through the Yuxke sweep. In the closing stages of the race, Stephen Golgotti was trying his utmost, despite his injured foot, to close that gap down to Lionel Black ahead of him. With one lap to go, though, a big gap out front of over 16 seconds. Clinton Sella was out front dominating the race, as he has done pretty much the whole entire season so far. Veteran rider Ian Harwood on the 24 bike was having a great outing, currently in 22nd place, as Clinton Sella made his way out of barbecue for the final time of asking, as the riders behind Damien Perivocati making his way through the Yuxke sweep ahead of Trevor Westman in third. Han McMahon had now managed to take fourth ahead of Graham Fromidor. Mark Newland was just behind David Feringa, falling back now into the clutches of David Enticott, and this battle between the Vos and Eddie van Dalen was still on, with Christian Carvalho just behind them and James Barson ready to pick up any pieces that might come his way. Heading through the S's, it was Clinton Sella, the number 11 on the King Pass Extreme Kawasaki, making his way up through Leeuwkop and down the mine shaft on his way to yet another victory, one step closer to the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup title. Byron Rothwell had company in the latter stages of the race, and that was in the form of the number 70 of Dieter Huisman. The leader, though, Clinton Sella, was making his way out of Cheetah into Ingwe for the final time of asking, and it was once again Clinton Sella that managed to lap some riders and take victory in the process. A great ride from the number 11 man as we wait for the second place man to cross the line, and that is, of course, Damien Perivocati with yet another great top 3 finish And third place man, that is Trevor Westman. A great top 3 for Trevor Westman. Han McMahon took 4th ahead of Fambrida in 5th, Newland in 6th, Peringa in 7th, Dave Enticott in 8th place. 9th place, Peter de Vos ahead of Christian Carvalho in 10th, Adi van Dalen in 11th, ahead of James Barson, Keith Agliotti in 13th. Byron Rothwell took a great 14th place ahead of 15th place man and last man in the overall points, Dieter Huisman. Tyron Piper, a great comeback to 16th place ahead of Renatus van der Kak in 17th and Perron Parasimon in 18th. For the riders and spectators, race 1 of round 8 proved to be a thrilling encounter filled with many passes, many spicy moments, and many disappointments in the form of Jaya Cruz with his crash. But undoubtedly, it was Clinton Sella celebrating, standing on the pegs, appreciating the applause of the crowd. A great performance from him, while right behind him, also a great ride from the number 24 of Ian Harwood. With only 2 rounds left after round 8, it was definitely Clinton Sella's title to lose in 2024. Could he wrap up the title at the end of race 2? Only time would tell. But this is racing. Anything can happen. And this is the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. A great ride from Renatus van der Kak, Dieter Huisman, Tyron Piper with a great comeback through the field. And then a great performance from Perron, who faded a little bit towards the back end of the race. So he'll be looking to come back stronger come race 2. Dieter Huisman would be looking for more though come race 2. Slightly disappointing results position-wise, but great results in terms of lap times. This is the fastest Dieter has ever gone around Kyalami. The number 65 of Stewie Christie, proving that age is just a number. Speaking about numbers, the number 88 of Christian Carvalho is definitely a force to be reckoned with. As the riders made their way into pit lane through to Park Ferme, it was a great performance. Time to grab that ice-cold red square reload, refresh, recap, regroup, and get ready for race 2. Clinton Sella taking victory then, ahead of Damien Purificato in 2nd, Trevor Westman in 3rd, a great ride behind McMahon to take 4th, ahead of Graham Fambrida in 5th. Mark Newland with a great result in 6th, ahead of David Peringa in 7th, David Enticott in 8th, Peter de Vos, first of the veteran riders, in 9th, ahead of Christian Carvalho, Adi van Dalen, James Barson, Keith Agliotti, Byron Rothwell, Dieter Huisman, Tyron Piper, and Renatus van der Kak in 17th. Perron Parasimon in 18th, ahead of Aubrey Marais, Lionel Black, a great 20th, ahead of Stephen Golgotzi, Ian Harwood, Stewie Christie in 23rd, ahead of Martin Perry. Sifiso Temba unfortunately running out of fuel towards the back end of that race. An unfortunate DNF for Lubas, that nasty crash for Jaya Cruz, while Johan Leroux and Raymond Keel were unable to take the start. That's all for race 1 of round 8 of the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. See you again for the highlights of race 2. The 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by SunBet, Red Square, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, and Kawasaki South Africa.